Some have ditched their campuses altogether, and they say that we sometimes go out to stay in hotels, and this is due to the fact that hotels have air conditioning. Now, a 20-year-old university student in the northeastern Changchun city who declined to be named told the BBC that there are always a few days in a year where it's unbearably hot. Hotels have become popular among students seeking to avoid sweaty nights in their dormitories, which typically is a dormitory is a 4 to 8 people room, and most times does not have air conditioning. But for many, the move is a last resort. Checking into a hotel is a huge expense for us as students, and the student is in Changchun did say this. So on less desperate days, he purchased a bowl of ice cubes in front of a small fan to cool down his dormitory room, what he calls a homemade air conditioner. And the invention has tided him over as the semester is ending this week. The Samfu season, known to be China's dog days, usually starts mid-July, but it arrived early this year with temperatures in the eastern region soaring above 40 degrees Celsius over the past week and catching millions off guard. And that is residents at that. Now, staying in Asia, Hamas says it has agreed to release 10 Israeli captives as part of continuing efforts to reach a ceasefire in the besieged and bombarded Gaza Strip, but warned that ongoing talks for a truce were tough due to Israel's intransigence. The comments on Wednesday came as Israeli forces killed at least 74 people in Gaza, and United States President Donald Trump again expressed hope that a truce could be reached very soon. Hamas said the talks, spearheaded by key mediators Qatar and the U.S., have several sticking points, including the flow of desperately needed aid, withdrawal of Israeli forces from Gaza, and genuine guarantees for a permanent ceasefire. Hamas official Teha al-Nuhu said the group agreed to the latest truce proposal and offered the necessary flexibility to protect our people, stop the crime of genocide, and allow the free and dignified entry and flow of aid to our people until we reach a complete end to the war. Now, coming to the continent, United States President Donald Trump is meeting with leaders from 5 African nations as he escalates a trade war that could impact developing countries reliant on commerce with the U.S. On Wednesday, Trump hosted leaders from Gabon, Guinea-Bissau, Liberia, Mauritania, and Senegal at the White House for talks and a working lunch, with discussions expected to center on business opportunities, according to a White House official. During the lunch, Trump said they hail from very vibrant places with very valuable land, great minerals, great oil deposits, and wonderful people. There's a lot of anger on your continent. We've been able to solve a lot of it, Trump said, pointing to a recent peace agreement leaders of the Democratic Republic of the Congo and Rwanda recently signed at the White House. The leaders are expected to discuss key areas of cooperation, including economic development, security infrastructure, and democracy, according to the statements from the White House and Liberia. Trump said the 5 countries were unlikely to face U.S. tariffs at that. And speaking of this meeting with President Trump and the African leaders, he did commend Liberia's president for having good English, and actually went ahead to ask him where he learned that English. Now, I don't know if that was a compliment. It just didn't sound as one. It was rather embarrassing or maybe demeaning, but it's up to how one receives it. That's just my personal opinion.
Trump is Trump. You know, a person who comes from the showbiz industry.
Right.
For the wrestling lovers, they can remember him some many years. When
Yes.
he was, so he's a man full of pomp. He's a man who want to put you down. He's a man. Donald Trump is a very interesting person, I must say.
Right.
And I just love every step of him. do you remember when he hosted one African president and showed images of how whites were being taken into slavery and all that?
Ramaphosa, yes.
But you would wonder, a South African president, now you bring such images. Are you waking up what happened in South Africa many, many years back?
Apartheid.
Where did you get even the moral authority to do that?
He told them point blank, your continent is full of anger. Anyways, let's have a look at what is in the dailies today.
Now, in the New Vision this morning, we have political parties to get 7.5 billion each. Ooh. Why don't we start a political party and pay to 7.5 billion
in servant
each.
Leadership.
Now,
so
here we go.
I
Opposition criticizes new order as NUP misses election funding. Wow, wow, wow. Now, Uganda granted HIV prevention drug access. Many are waiting for this, I must say. You get 2 injections a year, and there you go, very safe. Now, also coming to the New Vision still, elect leaders who follow up on government programs. I love this. His Excellency tells the people he has been in Wakiso, the leaders who follow up, so much money is injected there. Then on conduct of district land boards, I see the State Minister for Lands, a man who has been on the ground for so long on issues of land. Then on the Bararo issue, why their eviction should be guided by law. This thing is not about to end. Now, looking for, I think, let Julie take us to the rest of East Africa, where we have papers.
Yes, indeed. And looking at, let's start with the citizen in Tanzania. How Tanzania can create homegrown billionaires. That is a headline in the Citizen. And also Tanzania has been urged to adopt comprehensive economic policies to create more dollar billionaires and strengthen its international economic influence, with a new wealth report showing that the country has only 1 billionaire and a small pool of high net worth individuals. I wonder where Uganda falls.
We have them.
Oh yeah, we have many billionaires. That's I agree with that. My mind has been brought to speed.
People sleep with the billions.
Oh my goodness. Now, still in the Citizen, what this year's Form 6 exam results mean for Tanzania's tech goals. And hope made in Tanzania brand launch prompts a wave of optimism. Also, Nala CEO, it wasn't easy, but we made it work. Also in there is anti-drugs agency holds corpses in trafficking probe. Anyways, let's move on to the Daily Nation in Kenya. Kenya. Enough is enough. And this is about the protests. And this quote unquote, to those plotting in the shadows, let me tell you clearly, if you have ambitions, prepare your policies and meet me in 2027. There is no shortcut. That is a message from President Ruto. And different reactions coming in regarding that. But also Gachagua, no one wants to kick out Ruto. Impeached Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has dismissed President William Ruto's claim that the opposition is orchestrating his overthrow through violence and destruction of property. And the Democracy for the Citizens Party leader instead asked Dr. Ruto to exercise restraint and address the root cause of the protests by young Kenyans. That is what we can look at when it comes to the Daily Nation.
Sure, he doesn't want him out.
I know, right? Politics, indeed. But Robert, just quickly, something crossed my mind in regards to that heated conversation we started with in regards to conversation. And I just have to say this, picking it from what Timothy Nyangweso usually tells us in his liners for behind the headlines, that not every fact carries the truth. So regarding the matter of abortion, facts exist. Examine the truth behind every fact.
And
is it actually the truth?
I'll just repeat and say the world has moved away from theoretical.
I live that for you.
Practical.
I leave that for you as a food for thought. Not every fact has the truth behind it. But for now, let's enjoy some music. And we go back quite a number of years with Grace Nachimera with the song Onyambanga Mkama.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, This is Good Morning Uganda.
Welcome back from that down memory lane music. It's a Thursday, a good day to remind you to be fit and keep fit, as President Museveni donated gym equipment worth 38 million Uganda shillings to Kaleerwe residents aimed at boosting their fitness and health. This follows a pledge made to gym instructors when they visited the president, and the equipment was donated by Presidential Advisor on Political Affairs, Major Retired Byaruhanga. Good morning to you. Thank you so much for being on the show. Good Morning Uganda, coming to you live from the UBC TV studios. My name is Julie Nantaba Mosisi, and staying with matters, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, he entered a third day on his parish development model tours in Wakiso district, and on Wednesday he visited an established farmer, Jacqueline Rabukukuru, who in 2021 ventured into the 4-acre model, earning for her about 1.2 billion Uganda shillings every single year. The president commended Jacqueline for heeding to his wealth creation gospel and urged others to imitate Jacqueline's footsteps. Now, Robert Chirabonyonyitono is with me, and when it comes to the civil societies of Uganda's mind on the issue of abortions in Uganda, it's one thing I know that Robert is dying to speak into. So Robert, good morning, and it's so good to be with you on the show always. But I know your mouth and mind and your entire spirit is itching to speak into this matter of abortions.
Well, good morning, Julie, and our viewer. Thank you very much for waking up with us this morning. Well, for a long time, I've made it clear, Julie, that I believe in children by choice,
right,
not by chance.
Right.
And I've always said that it doesn't make sense for you to bring a human being on earth while you're not sure of what their tomorrow will be. Whenever I drive through, I walk through the city, and I see these street children, or I see children suffering, my heart bleeds. I feel the pain. And I also know that sometimes the process of human reproduction,
right, there
could be mistakes, and someone may conceive when they are not intending to. Now, the civil society organization under their umbrella known as Body Coalition to Stop Maternal Mortality due to unsafe abortion, they've always said, if a woman finds herself that she has conceived, and the truth is she looks into the future. Today there are men who look responsible, but once you mention you're pregnant, they'll vanish in thin air.
Right.
We have so many young girls that are pregnant not because it has been their choice, but because maybe she went for an iPhone, she went for a month or two of rent, she went and this man wasn't responsible. You know, she's vulnerable to make the right decision. Now she ends up conceiving. And the truth is she has no plan for this baby. Now they are calling upon Parliament to urgently review our laws so they can match with our constitution and the international laws. And here they mean to fix in, to decriminalize abortion. So that we have, because today in Uganda, unless for medical purposes, abortion is illegal.
Right.
And it can earn you up to about 14 years imprisonment. Abortion is illegal. So they are saying many women, because it is illegal, carry out what we call unsafe abortion. Yet they would have gone to a trained person, and the abortion is done in a safe manner, because you need a quality.
And voice bundles. Call all networks. Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000 or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21# and select daily or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
Hello, Kampala, Uganda. In response to the national call of strengthening the traffic security, Good Products Group HGO brand has officially launched the Rider Selection Campaign. Registration is now open. Visit www.riders.hgo.com. Complete your registration now for a chance to win exciting prizes including motorcycles, exclusive HGO gift boxes, and official rider vests, all while promoting safe riding awareness. This is how to participate. Pay the registration fee, invite 3 friends to form a team of 4, and your registration fee will instantly be refunded. Begin your journey of honor today. Don't miss this opportunity. Join the challenge, promote road safety, and become a pioneer rider. For details, visit the official Good Products website at www.hgo.com or call toll-free 0800-335-555 or visit our offices at Kingdom Kampala 3rd floor to register now and win prizes worth millions.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
A very good morning to you. Thank you so much for being on UBC TV. And if you've just switched on your TV and just used your remote to switch on UBC TV, you're welcome to the show. But if you've been with us since the start, thank you so much for being on the show. Time for The Real, where we get to engage in a discussion, share our 2 cents, but mostly when we have an expert, the better. Be a part of the show, 0709-602-592. Now, for the past couple of months, at least, and since UEDCL took over the distribution of electricity in Uganda, many Ugandans on their lips, they have experienced load shedding on and on and on again. And yes, indeed, UEDCL came out to tell us that the electricity service disruptions are actually meant to continue a little while longer as things are being put in place. But to help us understand that, we decided to bring an expert to help us understand what exactly is going on. And that is John Nkiza, who is the head communications at the Uganda Electricity Distribution Company Limited. Now, it's been donkey years since I'd last experienced load shedding, until I was shocked that it actually still happens since UEDCL. And as a Ugandan, I've experienced it and I have questions to ask. So, Mr. John Nkiza, thank you so much for coming this early on the show. Help us understand, because many of us are on the edges of our seats and we are complaining, but if you're here to speak into the matter, at least we'll have a calmer heart.
A very good morning, our distinguished viewers across the country and across the globe. It's indeed a bright morning.
Yes,
I
please.
didn't find a blackout at UBC. It would have been actually, I think, worse a discussion.
I will tell you though that we've experienced them during work. It would be worse a discussion if there was no power today. I know.
But apologies really for those we have inconvenienced in one way or the other, as we have undertaken some load shedding in some parts of the country, though not all parts of the country. I know sometimes when we are speaking about power, electricity, let me change that word because power may change the dynamics of the discussion, yes. But when we are discussing electricity, sometimes we speak from our own point of focus.
Right.
Because you have an outage, you assume actually the entire country has an outage, which is not true. But we also understand how critical electricity is in driving social livelihoods. So for those we have affected in one way or the other, as a result of power going off, as a result of load shedding, as a result of planned outages, as a result of faults, we want to deeply apologize. That has never been the motive of this institution. Our mandate is to power your homes, and And unfortunately, sometimes the inconveniences are either planned, like we have been undertaking some planned outages for the last, I think now, 3 months. This is the 3rd month from the time we took over. And the purpose really for the outages is not as bad as my sister wants to really portray it. We inherited a very uninvested in network.
Right.
You recall that from the time government made a decision not to renew Meme's contract, we lost a span of 3 years without direct investments going in. And I want to really re-echo the words of my shareholder, the Minister of Energy and Mineral Development, Honorable Dr. Ruth Nankabira. Yesterday, she actually did overemphasize on the aspect of investment, because the time was so long that we were contractually not allowed as government to directly come in and invest while Umeme was here. So there is a vacuum. We are trying to deal with quite a number of gaps across the network. It be transformers, it be the status of even the conductors, it be the transformers at the substations. So generally it is a cocktail of issues that we need to deal with in the shortest time possible, where we have high expectations from our consumers. Who are you and the Ugandans watching out there? So we are really trying to navigate through that kind of a thin road to ensure that we don't completely interfere with your livelihood as far as electricity is concerned, but also we want to invest, because if we don't invest in time, we are actually postponing a problem for the coming many more days of even complete load shedding, where we will even not be able to power your homes.
Interesting.
So, which will be extremely terrible.
I would love to interject there and still come back to the consumer,
Yeah.
the daily, daily human
Yeah.
being, citizen who consumes this
Yeah.
electricity.
Yeah.
Right before Umeme left,
Yeah.
it was rare to see this load shedding. And one would want to understand the 3 years gap, the correlation between the 3 years gap, the load shedding rampancy that is on now that wasn't there before.
Thank you very much. I don't think you are entirely accurate that when Umeme was here there was no load shedding. It is not accurate 100%. Where I live in outside the central business district.
Right.
But I think about 3 or 4 months to the takeover, we actually were experiencing several outages.
Right.
That's from Sonde up to Bukerere side. So people who are viewing me from there, they will not agree with your point of view.
Right.
And the same is true with the other parts of the country. But I honestly understand, because everybody is analyzing power from the point of where they stand.
Right.
We're not looking at the statistical part of it, that there was a challenge, because remember, Umeme was not investing then. Actually, to really give you a picture, when we took over on the 1st of April 2025 this year, we inherited 116 faulty transformers. And most of these transformers had actually gone off, like I think 4 or 5 months back. So you cannot tell me that these people are not experiencing load shedding. And these we were able to replace in our first month, in the first 24 days. So I think it's really a point of where each one of us stands. But from our end of the grid, and also looking at the statistics currently, we believe that there is actually stability coming to the grid. Because when you look at the performance of both the backbone, the HV and the MV backbone, there has been a positive trajectory of stability, moving from 97.1 from the time we took over to 98.1 availability on the MV line. Of course, we have challenges on the side of the end user, because to the extent we have loaded transformers, some of them have been filled to capacity even before we took over. So because we are seeing a drift, people are running away, most of them are running away from bad practices. So they are shifting the load to this existing infrastructure, which is not adequate. Because you recall also, our country is, our urban development is growing to a tune of about 12.7% per annum. And for you to have a gap of 3 years not investing creates a vacuum of close to about 36% of uninvestment in the sector. So this in itself has a direct correlation with what you're saying, that when Umeme was here, things were okay. And all of a sudden, because sanity has prevailed, people are running away from uncouth practices. They are now going back to the normalcy. You now want to think that actually the cause of load shedding is the coming of UDCL. That's not accurate. So, but the point really we want to really emphasize is let us look at the issues. The issue is the network requires investments. The investments, government has provided resources for the investments. The investments require time. The investments that we are talking about will not allow the network or the lights to be on. The unfortunate part of this story, that as we are investing, we are going to switch off power. As we are maintaining and upgrading these lines and these transformers in the different parts of the country, we are going to switch off power. That's where we need a balance of calm. That where you are seeing we are issuing outage notices, do not misinterpret it. There is work being done to ensure that we uplift the network to a standard that surely should have been 3 years ago, so that you, the consumer, continue to enjoy uninterrupted supply. But as you also have been observing on news, we have had repeated cases of vandalism across the country. This is a vice which is also directly affecting reliability across the country. Yes, we might think that the outages are being caused because of the coming of UDC, but we also have people with impunity who are stealing lines, who are stealing transformer oil, who are stealing every part of the component of the network. And what happens? Communities are going into forced outages, which we are directly not responsible for. By close of last week, I think we had about 45 suspects in sales, and 17 the other week on Wednesday were arraigned in court on charges of terrorism. So that one shows you how much pressure there is on the side of the network. People are stealing, both stealing the infrastructure, but there are also those ones who are watching us. They have never paid electricity for the last maybe 3 or 4 years.
Right.
There are those ones watching us here on this show in the morning. Yesterday in the night, they had a wire in the night. People in Impiji, you know what people are doing. In Impiji, some parts of Budon, we know these areas, these hotspots. All of these have a direct correlation on reliability, because as the more they steal, they are also going to undertake certain unsafe practices which will trip these lines. All of a sudden, you find networks are down. So generally, they are really a combination of factors on these causes of outages. From the time we took over on 1st of April, I'll give you an example. We have had major shutdowns on the major backbone, the UTCL substations here. I think we had the longest one this year, this part of this quarter we have just ended, which lasted for close to 20 days. Now, Mutundu substation being off for 20 days, 10 split apart, you know what that means for a consumer. It is not our problem on the side of distribution. They also have to invest. Remember, ERA allows us a budget to invest both on the side of distribution, generation, and transmission. The unfortunate part of this investment story, and I'm going to repeat this, is we invest when we have switched off electricity.
Right.
When UETCL switches off a substation, I can assure you the entire supply chain to you who is consuming energy will not have supply. Why? Because we draw our energy from them.
Right. Let's now look at while the investments are going on, and this switching on and off is going on to help aid the whole process. How long is it going to take?
That has been a question which has been on the minds of very many Ugandans. But we are doing these investments responsibly. We don't want to invest at a go, because if we invest at a go, we are going to cause a huge crisis. It will mean we are completely shutting down power. That's not the intention and the motive we have. We have split these investments through, let me say maybe close to the end of the year. We have spread towards the end of the year. But also, even when our regulator is allowing us money to invest, they allow us money for a year. So it means that they have a clear understanding of what needs to sink into this network before it gets better. And it has to take us a period of a year. So we want to apologize in advance that indeed when it comes to issues of planning outages and shutting down some areas for purposes of maintenance and upgrading of the network, surely that one allow us to do it.
Right.
It is very healthy for both of us.
Is there a effective communication plan?
Yes, we do communicate these outages in time. Like for these major shutdowns we have had on the major substations on the side of UETCL, even adverts have been running on UBC. We have used a plethora of media to ensure that every person who is affected by these outages receives prior information to the shutdown. And that we have done, and we continue committing to doing the same going forward for every outage that we shall have.
Right.
There are those ones going on now. We might have actually even communicated like a week ago to prepare people that, look, we shall have power off in this area for this particular number of hours to undertake this and this. But as you also know, that dealing with this kind of live business and trade, sometimes we will say we are restoring by 5. And due to a number of maybe factors, technical factors, unavoidable factors, things like changing weather, you might have started at 8 and all of a sudden you get a downpour at 11, it stops at 1, you'll not have a workforce on the line during that maybe 1 or 2 hours when you're having a downpour. So you realize that you have that uncalled for extension in the announced time. But these things happen not so quite often, but once in a while. So where we have erred in terms of restoring and we have not restored, but also because of a number of uncontrollable factors, we also want to apologize. But we do it responsibly, and communications are made in time to ensure that you are prepared.
Right, 0709602592 is the WhatsApp number that you should engage. UEDCL is explaining the rampant service disruptions that are ongoing, and Jonan Kiza, the head of communications at UEDCL, is here to help us understand the brighter picture and the right perspective that we should carry as the whole matter settles in and we settle into being served by the UEDCL. Now, looking at the issue of power theft and vandalizing infrastructure, many a times, I know you've also experienced it, where you find someone at an electric pole and they're not branded. Sometimes they're even branded, still branded as women. Sometimes with no uniform. But most times you find that citizens, Mutua wants tend to ignore it and move on anyways. But there are those who question, is this person really from UEDCL? Yes, they're actually vandalizing, but you can't tell, you can't know. How is UEDCL planning to deal with this issue? Power theft, vandalizing, but also what can the citizens do to help?
Let me begin with what can citizens do before I end with what we are doing on our side. The power comes to us as consumers, and many times when somebody is on the line affecting supply at our end as consumers, we ought to ask questions as consumers, because it is your right to ask any technician who is online what they are actually undertaking on a power line. They should be able to explain. If they are genuinely from any UEDCL office close to you, they will tell you, dear sir, we are here to do A, B, C, and D, and it's going to take us 20 or 30 minutes or 1 hour. It should be as comfortable as that. But as a citizen, you must interrogate what people are doing. It's responsible. You interrogate, because it is the service being off is affecting you, your livelihood. And
in that moment, in case I don't understand this person, now, how do I report in real time?
Of course, there are several avenues.
Social media.
There is social media, but also there are toll-free lines.
Right.
You can even drop us a WhatsApp. We'll respond if it's an emergency. You're seeing a person whom you don't understand, close to your house, close to your infrastructure, and you don't see them branded. You talked about branding. The reason why I came in this attire is to show you how we addressed. Right. Of course, I know they are clever Ugandans. Some of them, we have seen them online, who are saying they are making these uniforms and they are out for sale. We are surely also warning you that we might have to be forced to undertake some administrative action on people who are duplicating our uniforms. But the unfortunate part, even if they duplicate, there are certain things they may not duplicate. You see, my uniform has a number.
Your name.
It has a name. A name can be forged, but I'm talking about a number. This number is in the system. And in the coming days, I think about a week from now, we are going to deploy what we call QR codes on all uniforms of all UEDCL staff. So that when a person is near you, you can actually scan. Even if you are at a distance, you can scan and verify that this is the rightful authorized person to be on the network. So we are doing every task possible to ensure that we close all the loose ends, knowing that this space here we are in is a bit vulnerable, because you have so many people, electricians, who are doing this kind of electrical work in the different parts of the communities. Right. Where even us as consumers, we have opted for commufus and not gone to the offices to look for support. So we have given these people some form of wings in these communities. They will switch off these transformers of yours you are saying actually are load shedding you. And in the evening towards 8, they will collect money from you. And you will comfortably also give them the money because you want to be restored. And they have done this repeatedly. So this is also on the side of the consumer. Because we have allowed this kind of vice to continue, we have not interrogated, we have not reacted and taken these fellows to the rightful places where they are supposed to go. They continue affecting reliability on our end. So A citizen awakening call should actually be that let us interrogate people who are on the line. Let us also, at every point when you have a blackout, don't imagine it is a normal blackout, that power has gone off, it is going to go off. Report. You can raise an alarm to us.
Right.
So that we also try to establish if the backbone, for example, is on in that area where you're raising an outage, it gives us a picture that probably this customer might be experiencing a local fault or someone has tampered with a section where this customer is.
Right, now we're about to end this conversation. Time is such an enemy, yet this conversation is very pertinent, but we cannot end it without you giving us the different platforms to which we can reach out. What is the WhatsApp number?
Our WhatsApp number is 772-385-385.
All right, 772-385.
Yes, but you can also reach us at our toll-free lines,
yes.
0800-285-285, 0800-385-385, 0800-2030-88. But also, we are extremely active on X.
Social media,
Drop
yes.
us an inquiry, a comment, a compliment, whatever it is really you want to express to the institution on our X handle.
Right.
But we are also on other platforms. We are on TikTok, we are on Instagram, we are on LinkedIn. We want to go wherever you are. On every platform where there is a consumer, we are endeavoring to be there.
Right.
Why? Because we want to close the margins. But also really as a last word of hope for Ugandans. This is early days. We have just marked 100 days yesterday. We have achieved quite a lot in terms of ensuring that we manage this transition. The transition, much as it looks simple to the person viewing, it was not as simple as we may think. It involved quite a number of putting together different facets to ensure that even on day one, Ugandans were able to have light. Lastly, I was coming here when Chirabo called me in the morning. I said, now, are we doing worse in terms of outages on the continent? Today I was reading, even on the index, which is the most recent, I think, done on 23rd of March this year. Uganda is not among the top 10 countries where we are experiencing high cases of blackouts. You can go and read. Actually, you realize that we may not even be in the first 20. So much as, yes, we are doing our best to improve this infrastructure which is serving us, I also want us to have a time where we celebrate as Ugandans that we are actually in charge of our own affairs, and we are working together as a government and you, the people who are consuming, to make sure that this product is a best fit for you. Right,
and indeed having you and your presence frequently on air is one way to help Ugandans understand and appreciate this. Otherwise, from each individual's perspective, it's quite terrible. But hopefully you've been helped and a perspective has been shared on your side. Thank you so much for being on the show. That was Jonan Kiza, who is the head of communications at the UEDCL. And I will close this off with your comments. Can't be answered obviously because of time, but at least let me read them. Thanks, Mr. Jonan, but you talked of reducing the price of units of power, but it remained the same as that of Umeme. This is Wilson from Hoima. And Omugaga Saurembo says, Ruacha masanyalaze gavako buli dakiika. I think that has been explained. Hello, kindly send UEDCL WhatsApp number, urgently needed. We'll share it with you because Jonan Kiza has shared it. It's 0772385385. That is the WhatsApp number to which you can engage UEDCL. For now, it's a good morning. Up next is GMU Tourism Express.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Taxation is a bit complicated, and the only way to demystify it and make it as easy to understand and to comply with is through engagement. Is there a limit to the number of cars a returning citizen is bringing into Uganda? Who has paid the excise duty on this water is not the supermarket which has sold you this bottle at 1,000. It's not the business. It is the man who is going to drink this water. We strongly believe that it will only be through such constructive engagement that we'll be able to broaden our tax base and build our country together.
Buza Kamiso now. Now you can get direct answers. Send your tax-related questions via WhatsApp or SMS to 0790-141-887, and the Commissioner General of URA, John Musinguzi, will personally address them. Tune in to UBC News Tonight every Monday and Wednesday for expert insights and clear explanations. Booza Commissioner.
In a nation hungry for truth, a world where every story matters, there exists a beacon of trust and reliability. For decades, they've been our voice and our window to the world, holding the mirror of our history. With 4 TV stations and 11 radio channels spanning 27 languages, they stand as guardians of information, defenders of truth. With Mascari Heritage Advantage, they uphold every citizen's right to reliable and free information. Their archived stories shaped our past and illuminate our present. Yet now, as new challenges arise and the world evolves, their mission faces its greatest test yet. Be part of our journey and let's navigate the unknown, uncover the untold, and safeguard our future together. Tune into your public broadcaster, for it is the intersection of trust and truth. Because to UBC, your story, and every voice matters. UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Hello, Kampala, Uganda. In response to the national call of strengthening the traffic security, Good Products Group HGO brand has officially launched the Rider Selection Campaign. Registration is now open. Visit www.riders.hgo.com. Complete your registration now for a chance to win exciting prizes including motorcycles, exclusive HGO gift boxes, and official rider vests, all while promoting safe riding awareness. This is how to participate. Pay the registration fee, invite 3 friends to form a team of 4, and your registration fee will instantly be refunded. Begin your journey of honor today. Don't miss this opportunity. Join the challenge, promote road safety, and become a pioneer rider. For details, visit the official Good Products website at www.hgo.com or call toll-free 0800-335-555 or visit our offices at Kingdom Kampala 3rd floor to register now and win prizes worth millions.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Brought to you by
Uniquely Ours. Explore Uganda.
What a blessing to wake up alive, up, richer, and thankful, Lord, is how I feel about right now. Good morning and thank you for joining us on UBC. You did hear about the UEDCL and what it's doing in regards to keeping you happy with the lighting. I hope things will get better and better. Well, this morning, before we get into our edition of today, we'll first take a quick look at one of the key events in the tourism and creative industry, which is the Africa Travel Content Creation Conference 2025 that did happen at Protea Hotel. And this one aims at, bringing together Africa's tourism stakeholders, influencers, travel content creators to highlight, the beautiful things that Africa has to offer through storytelling and the digital marketing. Uganda Tourism Board and Protea are among the official sponsors that are supporting this platform, and we'll be watching closely as the journey gets to the full conference unfolds. It's the 3rd edition, running under the theme of unveiling Africa through content creation. Well, getting back today to what we'll be discussing is how bootcamp is relevant in the pageant world when it comes to shaping Uganda's tourism. Join me in as we welcome Mr. Luja Ivan, who is the projects coordinator at Miss Tourism Uganda. Previously, yesterday we had the King and the Queen tell us about their journey, how they've benefited, what they've managed to learn. And today we are getting into what happens in boot camp. Boot camp itself is the training where they undergo, you know, before they become queens. It's quite a long journey, like I did mention. It's not just about catwalks, and we understood that there's so much more. Good morning, Mr. Luja.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm okay, sir.
Yeah, thank you for hosting me.
Yes, we're happy to have you with us in the morning.
Yes.
Yeah, when we talk about boot camp, maybe you can actually start with telling us what boot camp is itself.
Boot camp is an intensive training. It's a short intensive training to prepare the queens, and now we shall also be having the kings to be good people in society and also promote tourism. Yes.
Now, when you talk about intensive training, what are some of the activities that happen within boot camp?
The activities, first of all, we do serious exercise, because if you're going to climb that mountain Renzo, you must be fit. If you're going to track gorillas, you must be fit. If you're going to go to those different places. In tourism, we do a lot of trekking, a lot of hiking. So you need to be exercising, we need to be fit, we need to be ready for any eventuality that can come up. And in boot camp, we also do a lot of trainings. For example, where we get the queens to get used to the animals. They begin to understand how they can conserve. You can't conserve something you don't understand, something you're not close to. And we end up also doing those things. So we learn to work with the animals, we learn to be friends with the animals. For example, something like holding a python. A lot of people, when they see a snake, they think it's evil because they've grown up thinking a snake is evil. Yet a snake is just like any other thing. But we know in the religious way, a lot of people think, no, the devil just used the snake, like it can use a person. So we get to talk to the queens, we get to get them to understand what tourism is about. Yes, there's a lot of trainings, marketing, presentations, and to boost confidence. Yes.
When we look at the pictures on the screen, it seems interesting. And like you said, some of these animals, personally, I can't even touch. It takes bravery to hold, you know, a cub like yes. You're holding. And when we look at the core purpose of boot camp,
yes.
In your view, how is it for Miss Tourism?
It actually changes. You know, we first go to regions. And in regions, they have, like, in most cases, like a one-week boot camp to prepare them for what's going to come for the national. And also to prepare those that won't make it to the national level, coming to Entebbe, UWEC. So we train them, and then they also get to understand what tourism is about, how to be promoters of tourism, because like Miss Tourism Uganda is about promoting tourism, the domestic tourism. So they must understand what domestic tourism is about. So then when we come to the national level and we add more staff we train. Yes, because at the regional level, they get them something like it's like a mini boot camp. At national, it becomes a serious one, very, very serious. In most cases, it's a 3 weeks training, and they have to wake up very early to go do exercise and then go for the trainings from different stakeholders, the ministry, UTB, Uganda Wildlife Authority, our partners like Superloaf, Liberty, all those people. They come and they talk to them about what they believe in. For example, Liberty, it had to talk to queens about insurance. And then they created the tourism insurance, I don't know what they call it, something. It's about tourism. When you're going to travel, you go and take a policy, tourism policy, something like that. So they learned a lot of things during that time.
When you mentioned that, I'm wondering, how do you ensure that it goes beyond the competition so that it makes meaningful contribution to the tourism industry?
That's why I'm the projects coordinator. We require the contestants to have projects they're supposed to implement. And then we support them as Miss Tourism Uganda, the organization. We give them support. And most of them sometimes think it's support is monetary. No, we give technical support because monetary support, we're not government where we can give you PDM and all that. You can go for the PDM and so that you can implement your project. But we give you technical support, we advise you on how to do it and all that. So we try to support them in that way. And also sometimes I can be on them. I can be on them and put pressure on them, and some don't like it, but in most cases it's supposed to be for their what? For their benefit. And those who are serious and they go through with it, in most cases they see the benefits. Yes.
You go through the 12 regions of the country.
Yes.
How have you managed to do this, or how does even diversity come in when it comes to the regions that all bring contribution, especially to the tourism sector?
The diversity of the queens, it gets them to understand what Uganda is about. For example, this year, the theme is I am my culture. Someone will learn something about the Karamojong, and then someone will learn about the Muchiga, like you. Someone will learn about the West Nile, someone will learn about all these people. And they get to understand each other. Some of them even become best friends. Yes, I remember one time they were making fun of the Uganda queen that Chintu had only one cow. One cow, one cow. But then the other one was like, for us, we are not pastoralists. We are agriculturalists. So they got to understand that. But this person who's a pastoralist was like, but why one cow? So they get to learn different cultures. They get to learn about themselves, and also get to learn about the beautiful things in those areas. Now, we've been traveling. We do, during boot camp, we travel so that they can see places. One time we went to Adjumani, we went to Kalangala, we went to Jinja. Last year we were in Moroto, and a lot of them were like, oh, we didn't think Karamoja looks like this. They saw some developed place, beautiful place, and all the mountains and all that. So it was very nice for them to open their eyes to something new. We had a queen who had never traveled out of Kampala. And we were like, wow, this is my first time. And it was something very beautiful.
Talking about that, I actually left with a best friend from Karamoja. She was called Jean Coprise. And the first time I also visited Karamoja, I couldn't sleep. For 2 days, I didn't want to miss out anything.
Yes.
Well, moving forward, when you talk about the camps with their relevance, how do they contribute to making these queens actual or authentic culture and tourism ambassadors?
They do. They get to, when they get all these facilitators coming in, from the ministry, from UTB, they open their eyes to new things. Some of them come when they don't know anything. They don't know anything tourism. Most of them come when the car or the prize we're going to give is what attracted them. So in most cases, they come thinking they're just going to walk the stage and look beautiful. Then they find that it's something different altogether. There are those who don't like it, but there are those who really like it, and then they become serious tourism ambassadors.
That is why I will ask you over the years, maybe one of the contestants that stood out, who probably came with zero knowledge about tourism, but right about now they are getting their way in the tourism industry.
You! You, did you know anything? Now you're here hosting Good Morning Uganda Tourism Express. You came when you're just like that little girl who's just out there, probably to slay. And then now you're a serious tourism ambassador. Yes, who else? There are many. There are many, many.
My story will be for another day. Okay, when we get to the people that you work with, or how Miss Tourism would want to be supported, because it takes a lot of work to have all the girls in different regions come together, have them for all these days, and teaching them this knowledge. What partnerships or sponsorships would you like to have in support?
Oh, we need funding. We need funding. It's expensive. It's very expensive to do this. Imagine just buying fuel to go to Karamoja, buying fuel to go to Kabale. It's expensive to run this whole thing. Feeding over 50 people. Feeding over 50 people when you travel to these places and all that. It's very expensive, and those people who come in and support us, we thank you, and we need more. We need more funding. We really need it. And we try our best to do what we can. Actually, if we had enough funding, the projects we would be doing, we would promote tourism very to another level. Because we do a lot. Now we've been doing that campaign of cleaning up Uganda. I always tell people that I had some Japanese friends who I asked that, why don't you come to Uganda? And they told me, your country is dirty. They didn't mince words. They just, your country is dirty. And people don't know that just being dirty can push away someone to come, even if it's just a home. If you're going to a home and you find it not clean, you're not at peace with it. Yes, you're not at peace with it.
Yes.
So even visiting these places like community tourism, who's going to go to a place that is full of lies and all that? They won't come if they're more interested in the community and the culture. Yes.
What message would you like to leave with the people watching us, or the young people that would want to be a part of that? I believe after seeing those pictures, they want to be a part of this.
Yeah, you come and join us. Come and join us. Come and compete. It doesn't mean that if you don't win to be queen, that you're not going to be part of the tourism sector. Tourism is everybody's business. You come, and those who really who can come, I think I would say, you come September 5th. We're going to be in Serena on September 5th, where we're going to be having the finale. The finale is just the beginning. Once we're done with the finale, where we choose the best of them, and then the rest, we keep working with everyone that comes in. We don't stop, we don't just concentrate on the queen. No, anyone that's really interested and wants to be a tourism promoter, wants to work with the tourism sector, we'll be there and support you. You come and join us. Those who really want to partner with this, come and partner with us in Miss Tourism Uganda, and everything will be good.
Yes, tourism is everyone's business, a slogan we did borrow from the late Honorable Mutagamba, who was also the founder of Miss Tourism Uganda, that has impacted so very many lives. You've heard for yourself what happens in boot camp, and they go beyond just the stage, what you see, the glamour, but also have projects that they do run, like Let the Pearl Shine, to keep the country clean. You heard about the reviews that come in from the tourists, and Uganda is already beautiful. I mean, the Pearl of Africa. Why don't we also take up spaces to keep it indeed the Pearl? We are still on Good Morning Uganda, and Julie Nantaba Musisi will be coming in with the business segment.
Brought to you by Uniquely Ours. Explore Uganda.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
The government's core mandate is to maintain law and order, safeguard citizens' rights, and provide essential public services.
Remember, one of the pillars of the roadmap is innovation and entrepreneurship.
There has been this question of how are you protecting our indigenous seed?
It's going to be a tall project. That answers somebody's question.
For the past 20 weeks, the Front Bench has brought you insightful discussions on governance, security, healthcare, justice, and commerce.
When you go through this complicated procedure, involve the lawyers, you bring the case against him, the judge will hear you out and pass judgment, and you're out of court in record time.
We remain committed to keeping you informed and engaged on key national matters.
So these are huge, these are powerful organizations which now Uganda chairs. Why don't you come together?
If we haven't migrated to the e-card because of various reasons, including that not all the people of Uganda have smartphones.
You can sit in your house, apply for a passport.
If you have a Ugandan who has a successful logistics firm in the US, it means he can come to Uganda and do a lot more.
Now airing every Monday at 8:30 p.m. with me, Jethro Kasaiji, your interface with the government only on your public broadcaster, UBC, Inspiring Uganda.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
A very good morning to you. Thank you so much for always choosing UBC TV. And it's Good Morning Uganda. Welcome back from GMU Tourism Express. Time for GMU Business. My name is Julie Nantaba Mosisi. And on the 12th of June 2025, whilst the budget of the new financial year was being read, the Honorable Minister of Finance gave us the good news of the fact that Uganda is no longer ranked in the low developed countries mark or group, and it's above that. And on that note, it's because it did meet the required criteria to attain lower middle income status. However, the permanent secretary and secretary to the Treasury at the Ministry of Finance, Ramadan Gobi, is urging Ugandans at the Ministry of Finance that to match this progress with improved personal and national discipline by embracing order, sanitation and productivity to fully realize the benefits of this new status. Gobi was speaking while officiating the 13th CPA Economic Forum organized by the Institute of Certified Public Accountants of Uganda, ICPAU, under the theme Sustainable Economic Growth, Transforming Today, Thriving Tomorrow. Uganda is projected to be Africa's fastest growing economy over the next 15 years, but only if its citizens become more productive, organized, and add value to local production. During the forum, Gobi revealed that Uganda's economy is expected to hit the $500 billion mark by 2040. But he warned that this can only be achieved through collective efforts ranging from value addition to agricultural output, proper urban planning, and investment in preventative health care. He encouraged Ugandans to move away from a disorganized mindset and become intentional about development, urging farmers to graduate from mere subsistence gardening to real-time value-adding farming. New ICPAU President David Timothy Odiam said the forum is a platform for bridging policy with practice by assembling constructive ideas from economic thinkers that will inform national planning and budgeting processes. ICPAU CEO added that the outcomes of the two-day gathering will contribute to shaping Uganda's economic trajectory, and the forum brought together a wide range of stakeholders, including economists, policy makers, private sector leaders, auditors, and officials from the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development. Vice President of ICPAU, CPA Alfred Baitwababo Kabuchu, highlighted that the institute continues to sharpen its members' skills as a direct contribution to national development. Now, moving on, like the conversation that we recently had in the reel, it's now 100 days of the UECDL since it took over from Umeme's concession and the retransfer of assets to Uganda Electricity Distribution Company Limited. Although initial concerns that the transition could plunge the country into darkness, UEDCL has weathered the storm and is steadily delivering on its mandate, and this is according to Dr. Nang Kabira, the Minister of Energy and Mineral Development. Uganda Electricity Distribution Company Limited has clocked 100 days of service following the retransfer of Umeme's assets on March 31st, 2025. Speaking at a media engagement, the Minister of Energy and Mineral Development applauded UEDCL for maintaining business continuity and meeting public expectations. According to Paul Mwesigwa, the Managing Director, UEDCL, all hands have been on the deck and the results are so far positive. He confirmed that the electricity purchases have continued without disruptions and service delivery is gradually improving even as the company grapples with challenges like an aging electricity network. The energy minister reaffirmed government's resolve to boost last-mile connections and improve power reliability across the country. Nankabirwa also sounded a warning against illegal connections and vandalism of power infrastructure, stressing that offenders will face tough penalties and harsh sentences. The 100-day review by the government's utility company sets the tone for a more efficient, affordable and citizen-focused electricity sector. Well, now that marks what we have today for business, but we can't go without giving you the update of what the forex rates look like as of the 9th of July 2025. And by morning, the US dollar opened at 3,585.64 and was selling at 3,595.64. And midday, it was at 3,584, a slight drop there, 0.18, selling at 3,594.18, closed in at 3,584.09, dropped indeed, and selling at 3,594.09. The British pound was buying at 4,869.70 and selling at 4,883.29. The euro was buying at 4,199.47 and selling at 4,211.19. And the Kenyan shilling was buying at 27.74 and selling at 27.81. And the Tanzanian shilling increased a little there with 1.36 buying and selling at 1.36. And the South African rand buying at 201.63 and selling at 202.20. Well, that's it for GMU Business. Up next is the agenda and how best can men be a part of the family planning system in Uganda. That's a conversation we are looking at. 0709 602 592. Good morning, Uganda.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Hello, Kampala, Uganda. In response to the national call of strengthening the traffic security, Good Products Group HGO brand has officially launched the Rider Selection Campaign. Registration is now open. Visit www.riders.hgo.com. Complete your registration now for a chance to win exciting prizes including motorcycles, exclusive HGO gift boxes, and official rider vests, all while promoting safe riding awareness. This is how to participate. Pay the registration fee, invite 3 friends to form a team of 4, and your registration fee will instantly be refunded. Begin your journey of honor today. Don't miss this opportunity. Join the challenge, promote road safety, and become a pioneer rider. For details, visit the official Good Products website at www.hgo.com or call toll-free 0800-335-555 or visit our offices at Kingdom Kampala 3rd floor to register now and win prizes worth millions.
Pick of the day on UBC.
He expected me to die like within the first 2 years. Out of the blue, the child will get pains, especially in the wrists. And this happens commonly when children are starting to walk.
Was brought to you by
I'll call you every day, yeah, yo, baby, don't know. You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks. Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000 or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21# and select daily or use the MyMTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
In a nation hungry for truth, a world where every story matters, there exists a beacon of trust and reliability. For decades, they've been our voice and our window to the world, holding the mirror of our history. With 4 TV stations and 11 radio channels spanning 27 languages, they stand as guardians of information, defenders of truth. With Mascari Heritage Advantage, they uphold every citizen's right to reliable and free information. Their archive stories shaped our past and illuminate our present. Yet now, as new challenges arise and the world evolves, their mission faces its greatest test yet. Be part of our journey and let's navigate the unknown, uncover the untold, and safeguard our future together. Tune into your public broadcaster, for it is the intersection of trust and truth. Because to UBC, your story, and every voice matters. UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Juko. Yo. What you go? Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Uganda, haven't you heard of the Parish development model, PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, it is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a poultry project, and now things are moving.
Juko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The Parish development model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better. PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
Our program of poverty eradication is a must. We want everybody to be involved.
Through the parish development model, Ugandans are starting small but impactful projects to improve their livelihoods.
When we give 1 million, we know it's not enough to do many things, but it's a starting point.
I'm a PDM beneficiary, a farmer. Your Excellency, I was given 1 million Uganda shillings from Kobil Kawo PDM Circle. Your Excellency, I got 20 bunches from my small piece of land, sold, got 400,000, put in the PDM farm, Your Excellency, in the PDM money, Your Excellency, I bought a cow of 1,400,000.
In 1 year, 100 families in the parish you get. In 5 years, 500 families would have got.
We were the first people to receive money from Nakapiriprit. I received 1 million. I rented 4 acres of land and I was able to harvest 14 bags.
So really this 1 million is enabling somebody to start something. Yes, and we don't want to give too much money to one person because we have got very many people to cover.
The parish development model empowers the people, focusing on lifting up the masses and creating opportunities that ensure prosperity for all. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of ICT and National Guidance.
Njagala okwebaza olw'enteekateeka eno gavumenti gye yatondawo ey'okulaba nga omuntu wa wansi, omuntu omuwejjero wa ghetto afiibwako. Nti nga ghettos eriyo embeera eyaliwo nga si nnungi. Okugereza ddala mu nteekateeka eno nga tennajja, abaana bangi baakwatibwanga, naye bukya enteekateeka eno ejja, bintu bingi bituukiddwako, naddala mu nteekateeka z'ebyokwerinda, security, wamu n'enkulaakulana. Nga tuyita mu nkola gye bayita eya ghetto structure. Ghetto structure kwe kulonda obukulembeze okuviira ddala ku ghetto esookebwako ku kyalo, ne tubeera ne ba coordinators ku muluka, paka eno gye tuli. Omwaka guno yatuwa ssente obukadde 100 wano emikono twabufuna. Era mu nfuna ya ssente zino twagala okwebaza Oweekitiibwa Pulezidenti. Ssente zino ziyambye nnyo abantu ba ghetto. Abantu ba ghetto nakubadde gavumenti ebadde n'emiwaatwa mingi gyeyisaamu ssente zaayo okutuuka ku bantu zibayambye. Naye ssente ezo zibadde tezituuka ku bantu ba ghetto. Ssente zino bannaghetto tuzibawadde era bazifunyeemu. Ebiseera ebisinga wali emabega abantu ba ghetto abamu baali bennyamivu nga bamanyi nti gavumenti yabavaako era ng'osanga abantu abamu mu ghetto nga tebalinaamu nsonga oli akugamba ekimbeeza mu ghetto noonyeza emirimu Uganda wonna gibuze. Twagala okusima pulezidenti w'eggwanga kubanga ssente ze yatuwa twazifuna era gwe guno omulundi ogwasookera ddala nga bannaghetto mu Uganda era twagala okumwebaza okutwagalira ddala n'atuwa ne ku ssente ezikola. Ffenna ffe twagala kumusuubiza nti abalaba gye bamulabira nti akadde ate kati ffe olw'okuba yakatutandikako tulaba nga yakavubuka era twagala n'okumulaga amaanyi 26 oba ki ebyatuswaza edda mu mukono twagala okubimalawo mu 2026 tugatteko amaanyi tumwebaze olw'omutima ogwagala abantu ba bulijjo naddala ffe bannaghetto.
Taxation is a bit complicated, and the only way to demystify it and make it as easy to understand and to comply with is through engagement. Is there a limit to the number of cars a returning citizen is bringing into Uganda? Who has paid the excise duty on this water is not the supermarket which has sold you this bottle at 1,000. It's not the business, it is the man who is going to drink this water. We strongly believe that it will only be through such constructive engagement that we'll be able to broaden our tax base and build our country together.
Buza Commissioner. Now you can get direct answers. Send your tax-related questions via WhatsApp or SMS to 0790-141-887 and the Commissioner General of URA, John Musinguzi, will personally address them. Tune in to UBC News Tonight every Monday and Wednesday for expert insights and clear explanations. Buza Commissioner.
The circle started 5 years back with 15 members who were part of the executive, and we managed to use the same 15 members to mobilize the youth and come in to make the 16 associations. So each member took a thought of gathering, mobilizing the 15 people to make associations. So the circle was established. We happened to have 229 members that qualified for 30 millions, which we got in 2021. We used the 30 millions from the presidential initiative to buy the 6 motorcycles, which was a small number to benefit the 229 members, but we managed to use it. The 6 border helped us to go under saving culture. We managed to group our members into 15-15 for saving culture. So the saving culture is 15 groups. They could get 12,000 per day, which 12,000 at the end of the month manages to buy 1 motorcycle. That 1 motorcycle is shared among the 15, so they vote who to take it. The 15 kept on until the 15 months. Every member had to get 1 motorcycle with saving culture. As I say, we managed to get 84 motorcycles from today's report. On daily, a rider, you move Kawempe, Nakawaru, Makinde, you Kampala Metropolitan, and at the end of the day, you have 50,000. That one, we call it average day. There is a time you make 100, that is, we call it the golden day. So most of our members came without anything to use or to support their family. So we helped them by giving them the border as one of the job opportunity the circle is offering to the community.
Nkusa okwebaza President Museveni olw'enkola eno gyatutereddewo otukulaakulanya nga najja wano mu ssaka eno nga sirina piki era ndi omu ku bammemba abaasooka okufuna lupiki. Kati abavubuka abali beteesobola kugula piki wano kiba kyangu. Kuba ogula buguzi migabo $5,000 ng'ofuna piki ng'otandika obulamu. Ate ku layisi tuli bangi kwa omuntu tolina miliyoni 5 zigula mpya 5 kitulo oba oguze emigabo ate nga gijjo n'otandikira okwo tolaba nti oba ofunyemu abantu abali batalina mirimu bagifuna wawo guno mulimu nno gwe nnyini tugufunyemu singa simaanyi ga mulimu guno kitegeeza nandibadde sikola ki sina ngeri kigenyiza buli kwasagana abaana abasoma era muki okulya byonna bwebuba kwesanyusaamu era kiki era ngutwalanga ensonga enkulu kubanga ofunamu gubinkolera goge mazima gubinkolera ddala bulungi mukadde tajjula maama gwe nninawo yekka oba oli awo akasimu ante kino bakiri mugira nga noteekayo n'omusindiki ante kino egamba tosobola kubulwamu ki sente
ebyenfuna byange byali bibi ddala naye mu bbanga ery'emyezi 9 wenfunidde piki aye obulamu bwakyukira ddala kubanga siganye nakati nkyapangisa naye luli eri nga landirodyako netutandika nga odduka nosanga nga basiirinze nawo naye kati nsobola omusasula nina omukyala n'abaana bendabirira nsobola okubaliisa bulungi nnyo nga embeera etambula era njagala okwebaza omukulembeze w'eggwanga otujjukira nga ffe abavubuka n'atuleetera pulojekiti eno ey'emyoga kuba ne mami wange saazina neenyumirizaamu kuba akubira akasimu n'omuweerezaayo omutwalo oba 2 kuba oba ozirina njagala otwala omukisa guno okwebaza omukulembeze w'eggwanga olw'okutulowoozaako nga ffe abavubuka n'atuleetera pulojekiti y'emyoga ne tutandika okufuna ku mirimu ne tufuna ebyokukola twabeerangawo nga tulina byakukola tutambula butambuzi nakuzzabuza misango naye kati okuva pulojekiti y'emyoga yeyajja kati tukola era sente zaffe tuzirabako era olw'okuba nti nasiima nze ng'omuntu nasalawo n'ekifaananyi kya pulezidenti Museveni kitambuze mu Kampala yonna mwenkolera okubalaga nti pulezidenti Museveni yantuusizza ku kino kuba nenkolera sente zange era nzifuna era nzirabako.
Hello, hamjambo. My name is Twea. Welcome to Swahili with Twea. Let's look at personal pronouns. Viwakilishi vya nafsi. Mimi. I. Mimi ni mwalimu. I am a teacher. Mimi ni rafiki yako. I am your friend. Mimi ninafundisha. I am teaching. Mimi ninakupenda. I love you. Wewe, you. Wewe ni mwanafunzi. You are a student. Wewe ni rafiki yangu. You are my friend. Wewe unasoma. You are studying. Can you practice this? Very good. Vizuri sana. See you again. Tutaonana tena.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Always a good morning here at UBC, but hopefully you're having a good one as well. Good morning, Uganda. It's time for the agenda. Thank you so much for being on the show. And as always, the number that you have to save to be a part of the show, engage, ask your question or share your opinions, 0709 602 592. Now, Richer Hand Uganda is implementing the Men Plus initiative, and this is one aimed at increasing men's involvement in family planning in Uganda, and to help us put that imagery into reality and how real it can be is Irene Namboze, the Monitoring and Evaluation Officer at Reach a Hand. Increasing men's involvement in family planning in Uganda is what we are looking at. Sounds sensitive, but one that is crucial to engage in and also understand how best can men be a part of the family planning movement in Uganda. Once again, good morning on the show, and welcome to you, Irene. Thank you so much for being on the show with us, and let's start with this, you telling us what exactly the Men Plus initiative is all about.
The Men Plus initiative is a project that champions male involvement in family planning decisions, and the fact that men are really good decision makers and the first decision makers in the family, we thought it would be a good initiative for us to put men at the forefront, for us to eliminate the mortality rate and everything. Men are really at the front there. So that is what the Men Plus project does, to make sure that men are involved in these discussions, and as advocates for family planning,
right,
and then as active users.
Right.
Yes,
let's
please.
look at particular issues that Men Plus initiative is trying to address in this cause.
We look at, as I said before, we look at men as advocates.
Right.
We look at men as supportive partners to their women as they take this decision. And then we look at men as men who are going to be able to make decisions on what sample size they have, family size, and everything in the family. So that before, it has been a role for women to make sure that they say, I'm tired. So we want men to be involved in these discussions such that it's not a one-sided thing, because a woman might feel tired. Yeah.
True. That's very true. And it's rather important if you think about it. It's been rare to find men having these conversations on family planning or be involved. Most times the pressure is more on the woman. So I think it's quite the initiative there. But being African and Ugandan at that, we must say diversity is a thing we have as Ugandans, religiously and culturally. So in your plan as Richer Hand, why is family planning important to Uganda, based on the background like I've shared it? Uganda as being Uganda, diverse country, religiously, culturally, why is family planning important, and why is it crucial for men to be involved at that?
Looking at the reproductive health part of it, we really want men and women to involve into family planning. The fact that we've had many mortality rates happening. So, and then people having families they could not accommodate.
Right. So
we bring in this aspect to help or put this perspective in our people, in their minds, that they can adopt this. And then, as I said, that men being involved at the forefront makes it more easier. Because a woman might be interested in this family planning method, but the man is not interested. So
interesting.
It's really good to put men out there. It becomes easier in case we involve a man in the decision making. Yes, and then involve everyone, every decision maker, including the religious leader, including everyone, to be at the forefront of this decision, because women are really going through a lot, and then men are not supportive on that.
Right.
Yet the families can be big and overwhelming. Yet a family is supposed to be a happy place.
Right.
And a safe place.
True. Be on this conversation, 0709602592. It's the WhatsApp number that you can engage and share your opinion or ask your question. We are looking at increasing men's involvement in family planning here in Uganda. And to do that with us is Irene Namboze, who is the Monitoring and Evaluation Officer at Reach a Hand. Now, Men Plus initiative, I think it's new. It's still new.
It's still not new.
Right? It's not new.
Yeah, it has been there.
For how long?
For 4 years now. It's coming to 5 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that we learn and learn and relearn every day, because there are some family planning methods that you share with men to be a part of, and most times they shun away from them. They run. We are coming to those examples, but take us through this initiative. How does it work?
Under the Men Plus project, we make sure we put men at the forefront. We put them through men dialogues. We discuss different things with the men, where we beat misconceptions, because there are really men in the community that if a man involves in family planning, they are weak, they cannot do anything, they're not good decision makers, which is really not it. So during these dialogues, we make sure to highlight the advantages of male involvement, which includes good decision making, and then feeling like they are the men in the families. So which makes it like easier for us to hold these conversations in their dialogues, because they can air out the fact that it's even a safe space for them. And then we do football matches, because getting men together when you're not going to give them or have an engaging activity with them is hard. So we come up with football matches, we come up with dialogues where they can express themselves, and then after we can have meaningful conversations with them. Yeah, after
creating a safe space for them. Very interesting. Now, you've talked about some of the misconceptions they have. And when it comes to methods, one of the methods I know has been addressed to men as a family planning method is vasectomy. And it's for the conversations I've had with most men, when you talk about vasectomy, every man has a negative understanding about it. Yet, when you talk about cutting a tube of a woman, they'll actually be very welcome and they'll be like, that's okay, which I find rather selfish. But please share from an expert's perspective what family planning methods can actually help men effectively participate in family planning.
Not as women. I don't know if it's an advantage or an advantage. Men's family planning methods are limited. We only have one, and it's a permanent method.
And that's vasectomy?
Yes, please. And it's done once and for all. So it's advisable for people who have gotten desired children, a desired number of children in their family. And this is the discussion we encourage. It's had at household basis, and then you can come for it. So yes, this method is safe. We would say we do not expect any problems after the method, or it is
it's not reversible, but it's also safe.
Yeah, it's very safe.
It doesn't have side effects.
Yeah, if you use, because as Reach a Hand, we use professional doctors to perform this method. They just have an incision and they disconnect the tubes, and that is all.
All right.
Yes, so it is very safe. Because most people think after doing it, you're not going to be fine. You'll be very okay.
What misconceptions have you had men talk about when it comes to vasectomy? Yes, we know that they have a negative perspective about vasectomy, but what particular ones have you had them address?
Most people think they are weak. Most people think they become castrates, which is not.
Yes.
Most people think you do not function well, yet you do. Most people think you've become a woman in the family, the fact that you've taken this decision, which is not right. So yeah, it's just a good decision, I would say.
And during these workshops, what exactly do you tell these men about vasectomy?
We tell them the right procedure we use. We tell them the advantages of it. We tell them, because at some point we've not had any complaint or disadvantage coming out from the certified users we've worked with, and which is a really good thing. And we really encourage them to go for it, which is a good thing being a supportive partner to your woman.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Get the right number of children desired, right, is relative, desired number of children, and then make that decision to be a part of the family planning movement. But from your research as Richer Hand, what are some of those most common highlighted reasons why that men give not to be a part of the family planning process in their families?
Most people think it's being weak. It's being weak as a man.
Majorly?
Yeah.
So even when it comes to discussions of what trends can your wife be a part of for family planning, it's still weak? It's still perceived as weak?
As for the women's side, the men think it's a woman's thing to go for family planning. It's not a man's thing.
Right.
Yeah, which is not like good, because having a family, you discuss together.
Yes.
Yes, so why are we eliminating this when it comes to this discussion? So most people think it's a weak thing for a man to go for a family planning method, and they think they are not going to be embraced the same way they were embraced before.
Right.
Having the family planning method. They'll think they're going to not to be having that stand as men to have these discussions or to have decision makings in the family.
Right.
After going for the
Interesting.
procedure.
Be on the show, 0709-602-592. We are talking about increasing men's involvement in family planning. You have a question, ask it. 0709-602-602. 0709-602-592. That's the WhatsApp number that you can engage. Now, you've talked about having family planning conversations right from household level. That is between husbands and wives. At how best can they be involved at household level? How can it start? How would you advise or suggest that husbands and wives get into this conversation at household level?
I would say open discussions.
Right.
Because in case you do a decision alone, then that is going to affect everyone and the children. So having these children safe, let us sit as man and woman, have this discussion together. Because if a woman goes out there and they go for a permanent method, it will show not having oneness in this family. So in case you have like an open discussion about it and everyone picks the perspectives of the other and how they find it, if they're okay with it or not, that then at the end of that day you can have a discussion and have it done.
Yes. From
household, then you can go for it in case your person is interested, and then you can as well spread to other people
the effectiveness.
Yes, the effectiveness and the advantages you found from it, such that people can be adaptive from your experience.
Right.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Now let me engage some of your comments. And good morning and thank you for the program. I'm Charles Odong from Amuria. And it's good to involve men in family planning, but ladies turn violent when a man, after putting in place, especially when a man says it's time, we can now, okay, I hope I understand what you're trying to say, but please clarify, Charles. Do clarify so that we're able to communicate effectively and have your question answered. 0709-602-592. Now, what are some of those biggest challenges Richer Hand has faced in trying to promote the gospel of family planning, especially amongst the men? And what solutions, pardon me, do you suggest can be put in place from household level, just as we've partially talked about, up to the level, national level?
I would say among the challenges are men not turning up
for
the discussions because they are busy. Men are busy people, so we make sure to put engaging activities, could be movie screening, the dialogues I talked about, the football matches, such that we can get them in the same place. Yeah, that is one of the solutions we've used for men not being able to turn up for those activities, and most of them turn up. And then another challenge would be them not wanting to feel like women, not wanting to feel like they are weak. but we encourage them that in case you go for the method, doesn't mean you're weak.
Right.
You're still the decision maker, you're still the head of the family, and which is a good thing, the fact that you're able to support your woman or your partner in this.
Right.
Yes.
And it's a goal for you to have a family that you can manage
Exactly.
as a man. Well, that's it. Increasing men's involvement in family planning is a conversation that we've been engaging in. And to do that, to help us understand it, has been Irene Namboze, who is the Monitoring and Evaluation Officer at Reach a Hand. What would be your parting shot when it comes to the Men Plus initiative?
I would say men should really involve in this.
Right.
For us to be supportive to our partners. I would say let us not leave this discussion to women alone. We don't want to have families where women feel like they hold every decision about their reproductive health, and let's mind about their mental health in regards to number of children they want to have, number of the family size. Let's really be supportive.
Right.
As men, yes, let's as well have discussions with this and see how you can support. Could be advocating for a family planning method, could be being a supportive partner, could be being an active user.
Right, yes,
yeah,
indeed. And I think my takeaway from this has been that vasectomy is safe, men. It is okay. It's safe as long as you have your desired number of children. Charles here comes through and says, to me, IUD would be the best, but we face challenges when it comes to removal due to lack of equipment at Healthcare 3. How best can we help? Can we be helped? The family planning method of IUDs, it says that they face challenges when it's time for it to be removed because of lack of equipment at Healthcare 3 centers, and he's wondering how best they can be helped. Is there a way Reach a Hand could help with this?
We work with different districts and different health center 3s and center 4s. So in case a person is in one of the districts, they could go to the facilities. But in case a center 3 is not having maybe that equipment, you could go to a center 4. Or you could find out the clinics that have, we have Reproductive Health Uganda clinics in almost most districts. So, and we partner with them on this initiative. So yeah, you could go to any of them.
Right.
I know they can give you the needed support.
Right. Thank you very much, Irene. It's been a pleasure having you on the show.
Thank you.
All right, that marks it for Good Morning Uganda today. Tomorrow is a Friday, one of the most exciting days of the week, but the show hasn't yet ended. Ruben will be coming up with JMU Sports. Good Morning Uganda.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Pick of the day on UBC.
He expected me to die like within the first 2 years.
Out of the blue, the child will get pains, especially in the wrists. And this happens commonly when children are starting to walk.
Was brought to you by
You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks. Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000 or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21# and select daily or use the MyMTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
Hello, hamjambo. My name is Twea. Welcome to Swahili with Twea. Let's look at personal pronouns. Viwakilishi vya nafsi. Mimi. Mimi. I. Mimi ni mwalimu. Mimi ni mwalimu. I am a teacher. Mimi ni rafiki yako. Mimi ni rafiki yako. I am your friend. Mimi ninafundisha. Mimi ninafundisha. I am teaching. Mimi ninakupenda. I love you. Wewe. Wewe. You. Wewe ni mwanafunzi. Wewe ni mwanafunzi. You are a student. Wewe ni rafiki yangu. Wewe ni rafiki yangu. You are my friend. Wewe unasoma. Wewe unasoma. You are studying. Can you practice this? Very good. Vizuri sana. See you again. Tutaonana tena.
In a nation hungry for truth, a world where every story matters, there exists a beacon of trust and reliability. For decades, they've been our voice and our window to the world, holding the mirror of our history. With 4 TV stations and 11 radio channels spanning 27 languages, they stand as guardians of information, defenders of truth. With Mascari Heritage Advantage, they uphold every citizen's right to reliable and free information. Their archived stories shaped our past and illuminate our present. Yet now, as new challenges arise and the world evolves, their mission faces its greatest test yet. Be part of our journey and let's navigate the unknown, uncover the untold, and safeguard our future together. Tune into your public broadcaster, for it is the intersection of trust and truth. Because to UBC, your story, and every voice matters. UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Hello, Kampala, Uganda. In response to the national call of strengthening the traffic security, Good Products Group HGO brand has officially launched the Rider Selection Campaign. Registration is now open. Visit www.riders.hgo.com. Complete your registration now for a chance to win exciting prizes including motorcycles, exclusive HGO gift boxes, and official rider vests, all while promoting safe riding awareness. This is how to participate. Pay the registration fee, invite 3 friends to form a team of 4, and your registration fee will instantly be refunded. Begin your journey of honor today. Don't miss this opportunity. Join the challenge, promote road safety, and become a pioneer rider. For details, visit the official Good Products website at www.hgo.com or call toll-free 0800-335-555 or visit our offices at Kingdom Kampala 3rd floor to register now and win prizes worth millions.
Taxation is a bit complicated, and the only way to demystify it and make it as easy to understand and to comply with is through engagement. Is there a limit to the number of cars a returning citizen is bringing into Uganda? Who has paid the excise duty on this water is not the supermarket which has sold you this bottle at 1,000. It's not the business. It is the man who is going to drink this water. We strongly believe that it will only be through such constructive engagement that we'll be able to broaden our tax base and build our country together.
Buza Kamiso now. Now you can get direct answers. Send your tax-related questions via WhatsApp or SMS to 0790-141-887, and the Commissioner General of URA, John Musinguzi, will personally address them. Tune in to UBC News Tonight every Monday and Wednesday for expert insights and clear explanations. Booza Commissioner.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
The competition so far. Trent Alexander-Arnold in. Now the first moment of duress for Thibaut Courtois. Fabian Ruiz, who scored in the opening group game, the 4-0 win over Atletico Madrid, gives Paris Saint-Germain the lead here against Real Madrid.